I was looking at these red carpet photos and something did not sit right with me.
See these celebrities get up there. Like, it doesn't take, I don't have to have all of the medical history that you have to know that something is not right about it.
Everyone is blaming Ozempic, and maybe they're right.
You've seen this new drug, Ozempic, be mentioned.
But what if the real reason is much darker than a weight loss drug? I think they know something that we do not know. Welcome to Deeper with Chrissy.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Hey guys, and welcome back. So this is my Deeper with Chrissy pillar where we just go beyond the surface. We go beyond what we're told. We go beyond what we see, and we try to look at the whole picture and put it together. And I think I told you, I think I have the gift of discernment and I can put things together pretty well. I can put the whole picture together, and you know, I'm a little conspiratorial, okay? But this is where I'm speculating, I'm thinking out loud. These are my thoughts. And I want you to think with me. Let's think together if you're kind of in the same realm as me. So, okay, Ozempic face, Ozempic thinness, the girls out here are looking a hot mess. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to talk about their bodies. I'm not trying to body shame. That's not what I'm trying to do. But I think we all can say that the level of thinness that we're seeing with these celebrities, it just don't look right. And to me, it's like we're going beyond the whole 90s supermodel chic. I mean, they at least like kind of looked healthy. Y'all don't look healthy at all. Y'all don't have no muscle. You don't have no protein on your body. You ain't got no body fat. Your skin is hanging off. I don't know what's happening. It's like everybody is talking about Ozempic, but like, are we going to ask the question of why this level of thinness is being normalized? Everywhere we look, everybody is not just losing weight and thin. They're sickly thin. They're unhealthily thin. And we just have to ask, why is this right now so prevalent in our society, our culture, in the media? Like, why is this the imagery that is being shown to us?
There's something deeply unsettling about the particularly emaciated aesthetic that's trending right now.
Hollywood is out of control right now. Somebody just sent me a picture of Kelly Osbourne and her mom, absolutely skeletal. Temporal wasting, looks malnourished. This is so thin. I am freaking out that this is our new reality.
So when we look at the official narrative, okay, the official narrative is Ozempic. They are just addicted to Ozempic. They are addicted to the weight loss drug. They just keep shooting themselves up with Wegovy. And listen, I think that can be the case for some people. It'd be like, all right, you want to put the needle down. You want to stop the injections. You're skinny now, okay? But I don't think that's it. I think it's a lot deeper. And I think it's deeper because whenever something is demonized, you kind of have to look at why they're working so hard to push like a certain narrative. The weight loss drugs, there's so many hit pieces against them. As far as it does this, it gives you this, it does this. And to be honest with you, I've actually talked to doctors who said that Ozempic and the semaglutide, whatever they are, that it is almost like a godsend because they're able to give it to their patients now to get some of the weight off of them, to stop some of the chronic diseases and illnesses that we see. So when I started to see all this, it does this to your gut and then it gives you a sunken face. And I think some of those things can be true. I'm not saying that all the studies are not true, but why do you want to demonize something that you know is working? And I think you want to demonize this weight loss drug so bad because you want it to be the fall guy. That is nothing but a distraction for basically what they don't want us to see is the real reason of what is pushing the thinness narrative in our face. Like what's pushing this thinness imagery to the point where it's unhealthy now. But then when I look at it on a bigger scale, I note the timing, okay? This thinness is happening during during a very specific turbulent time in history right now. You know, war, verge of economic collapse, instability in other countries. We can't get oil. Some countries may not even be able to get food. Trends just don't happen. They get manufactured.
Do y'all still think it's a coincidence that everybody in Hollywood was getting extremely thin and looking extremely gaunt? And the photo of the year was Miley Cyrus that basically put on a provocation of her looking like a very, very poor, starving person. No, literally. Everyone has been looking so gaunt in Hollywood and being paper thin because they set the stage for what they already knew was about to happen. They weren't just cosplaying poverty. They were actually projecting it so that when people actually start to look starved, it won't be that much of a shock. They are the jesters for the muses.
We know that Hollywood has been linked with the CIA for decades now. They make movies. They tell them what movies they are going to make. And they push their propaganda, and they are going to get a message across. If they need a narrative to get across, it's going to happen. And that is why they have infiltrated Hollywood a long time ago. Look it up. I'm not making this up. So it's not a coinky-dink that you see all these celebrities now looking like they are in starvation mode. I think it is the CIA putting them in starvation mode. So now that we've laid all that out, let's put it all together. They know what is coming. And I know that sounds really dramatic, and I'm not trying to scare anyone, but it has happened before. Scarcity, food insecurity. What do you think the Great Depression was? You hear the stories of they only had potato soup, food rations during war. I mean, where do you think this has come from? Look at the old imagery of some of our grandparents during the Great Depression. They were hungry. They didn't have jobs. They were starving, cold. And don't think that that can't happen again. Don't think that that can't happen to our asses. The conditions are already in motion. Look at the rising food costs that are completely crushing families. I mean, at this point, I'm down to pork chops and oodles and noodles. You can't even walk out of the grocery store under $100, under $150, and you look at your cart, you're like, I didn't even get anything. So we're not even able to afford food right now. That the food insecurity is real, and they done took people's food stamps away. I mean, they put job requirements for food stamps and then said, oh wait, there's no jobs. Sorry. So that's one. You have a global supply chain that has never been able to bounce back after the pandemic. Growing global conflict that we see erupting. I mean, we have every country's in a war with another country, and we know historically that war will interrupt the food supply. Currently, right now, apparently Dubai is the UAE. I don't even know what you call it. They're scared because the Strait of Hormuz is closed, and they are days away of not being able to import food. They apparently, when you build a life in a desert, food don't grow in the desert. And so these mofos are out here about to be hungry. And not to mention every economic indicator pointing to a downturn. And they downplay it. They're cooking the books. They're telling you the job reports are good. And then months later, go back and redo all the numbers. It's all fake. The books are cooked. Now, I want to take you back because this is not the first time in history that a population was conditioned before a major collapse. When you look at what was happening culturally during the Great Depression or leading up to the Great Depression, it's not too far off from what you see now. Some things start to look very familiar. In the 1920s, before the Great Depression, there was a very well-known style that took over, and that was the flapper style. A lot of us, we put on costumes for Halloween and, we're a little flapper girl. And what's notable about this style is that it showcased a woman in a very thin woman, even with thin eyebrows. It showcased a woman with almost kind of like a boyish figure. No hips, no butt, no boobs, flat bird chest. You kind of see all the bones in the chest. And it almost took on a somewhat of an androgynous look when it comes to the body type that was glamorized during the flapper era. And notably, before the flapper era, that a sizable woman of good stature was really kind of the beauty standard. It showed that your family had some money and that you could at least eat. So nobody was, if you were a little thick, nobody had an issue with you. I mean, a lot of people weren't thick in our current terms because they didn't eat like all this nasty crap that we eat today. However, that skinniness really took off in the 1920s, before 1929, when everything collapsed. So thinness became fashionable right before an era where millions of people had no choice but to be thin. So was that a coincidence? Or were the conditions already being put in place to prepare a society? Another thing I want to note is during that time, everything was in excess. Everything, the movies, everything was showing glamour and lushness and excess and drinks and money and gambling and this and that, fun and smoking. It just everything. Everything was glamorous. Everything was abundant. And I look at what they do now, and it was what I was talking about in one of my last videos with the luxury lifestyle vlogs and TikToks and reels that we see from influencers. And they're literally just showing us their big ass house and all these expensive dinners and what they can afford. And we're just like, yeah, I wish I would be me soon. Like, what? And in that video, I was saying like something just doesn't feel right. Something doesn't sit right in my spirit and soul to keep looking at this when I see what's happening out in the streets, when I see what's happening out in the world. And so when I'm drawing the parallels between the imagery that was fed to people of glamour, look at us, we're flappers, and the imagery that is shown to us of look at how much money I have and look at my Rolls Royce, ain't I cool? Don't you want to be like me too? It's almost like they are trying to dazzle us with imagery of beauty, imagery of luxury, imagery of wealth. Secretly, while the banks are probably failing. And that's what happened in the 1920s. All the dazzle and razzle dazzle didn't work. The banks were secretly failing. So you have to just wonder, are they secretly failing now? So I'm going to wrap that up there. I know this is a long one. Thanks for sticking in with me if you made it this far. I think what we really need to do is just look beyond the surface. Let's not just take the headlines and run with it. Like, let's look at the deeper meaning. And I know it's hard because you go, well, what does it matter? I still got to go to work. Yes, you do. Or what does it matter? I can't change anything. That's not true. All right. The revolution is coming. I'm telling you, it's going to be here. They've been prepping us. Look at the war. Look at the movie Civil War. Okay, the Hunger Games. They have been prepping us for a long time. They know what's coming. They've planned it. And I think that we need to stay ahead of their evil little game. And remember, they don't win in the end. That's the thing. The bad guys don't win in the end. The demons don't win. They know that. And I just think as long as we stay ahead of them, or we know what game that is actually being played, then we'll be good. And how we do that is staying real close to God. Like, seriously, pray, find a relationship, you've got to be rooted and grounded in something. Something, because when you're not grounded in God and that spirit, you are subject to anything out there. So that is really what I want to say. Find a way to the Bible, find a way to pray, and that will also lead you to community and communion. We have been so separated in our phones, so disconnected from everybody. We need to throw a dinner party, invite your friends over, because in the end, when shit hits the fan, that is what will allow us to survive, is when we as a community are finding food sources together, finding jobs together, helping raise the kids. We got to go back to that. So it's okay. We'll be all right. And let me know your thoughts down below. What's your theory of the thinness? You think I'm reaching? You think I'm going too far? I don't think so. I will see you guys all on the next video. Bye.